say you have goals for the year.
Yes.
He says like cut it in half. So like whatever your goals are for the year, do it in 6 months. And then he goes, on top of that, he goes times it by 10. If you want to make $100,000,
right?
No, you don't make you want to make $1 million. Like times whatever your goal is by 10.
The timing or
yes,
the goal?
The timing, both. That's what he said.
I believe in
the guarantee that it's gonna something's gonna happen. Like you're gonna do it.
I believe in the writing it down.
Yeah.
Tenfolds your chance of making that happen.
Right.
So yes, physically writing your goals down.
But physically writing it down, is that like the same as typing it into your phone or no?
No, I think writing it down is more efficient.
I think so too.
I have it on my desk. Like I wrote this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And yes, one of them is like, yeah, everyone's like, oh, you want to lose weight? You want to lose weight? I really want to lose weight this time.
You do.
I've done it before.
Yeah.
And I haven't, to being honest with myself.
Right.
Haven't put the effort I should all these years. I tell people I do.
But like, because you're like 40.
I'm 41.
So the older you get, it doesn't get harder.
It gets harder.
But is that like, are you talking yourself out of it?
My discipline is not as strong as it was when I lost it at 30.
But like say you were 30, like same thing.
Yeah.
But you're 30. You have more energy.
Yeah.
You can lose weight faster.
Yeah.
Right? It's like your body's more responsive. Like the older you get, it's like you're not as sore. Like I don't even do anything. I wake up and my legs hurt. I'm like,
I get up and I'm like, my back is already.
It takes me like 10 minutes to get ready to run. And before it was like I could just roll out of bed and just go.
Right. And I really.
So it's harder to get in shape now than it was 10 years ago.
And I really love food. And when I'm stressed, I want to eat.
Yeah.
When I'm happy, I want to eat.
I think that's the point.
And then look, how many times you and I, when we have our lunch, we
know.
We have a solid meal,
right,
and a nice scotch.
Yes.
That's not helping my cause. But I like it so much.
Do it.
No, but I like doing it so much. Don't you?
Yeah, because I look at a friend of mine, right? He's like ripped. He's got a 6-pack, but he like doesn't eat anything. Now he's like, it's almost like. Right. He doesn't he eats steak like 3 times a day, and like he doesn't eat till like 1 p.m.
And he's not.
And
does he drink?
He says he enjoys his life, but he doesn't go anywhere. So
that's not joyful. But I have to find the balance.
I think there's a balance. I think he's one extreme, and maybe we're like another extreme. But I think there's something. There's like a middle.
There is definitely a middle.
Right. You could do both.
Yes.
You could enjoy.
And I gotta give credit to Christina because she reminds me like. I'm a very all in or nothing guy.
Right.
I need to stop that. Like in this sense, like I can't like cut everything out.
Right.
And then just live my life eating.
I mean, can you though for like 3 months cut everything out and then and then just like go back to the middle, or no? Is it easier to go to that middle or that middle?
It's not. I've done it before and it doesn't work. I gain my weight back.
Yeah, me too.
So. Good to have you here, Tony. And a perfect segue into the pleasure is all yours.
The pleasure's mine.
Tony, where'd you come in from today?
Now I'm on my way, straight from Australia. I left Sydney, God knows when, and now I'm on my way to see Avidas. I mean, we travel far to see this man. Across the globe. Across hemispheres.
Literally coming in hot from.
I'm coming in hot from Australia. By the way.
Yes.
My opinion, the greatest place in the world.
That's bold statement. That's a bold statement.
I mean, I would go there over anywhere.
Wow.
Anywhere.
To my Aussie friends that are gonna watch, as he's preaching to your choir.
It is the best kept secret in the world.
What's the one thing like? Why? Just give me one thing that makes you say that about Australia.
I think it's the energy.
That's a good one.
I think it's
good energy.
It's got good energy.
Aussies are good people.
Yeah.
They're welcoming. They're fun.
Yeah, they just know how to act. They're all like well mannered.
Yeah.
They all like to have fun. They know what's important. They got their priorities in order.
No BS.
Nobody's pushing you or like get out of my way.
Right.
Everybody's helpful.
Right.
I mean,
and they're politically incorrect, which is great.
Yeah.
Sometimes they say things you're like, ah. So you went with your family?
I went with my family.
This is like a New Year's trip?
New Year's, Christmas, Tracy and the kids, the boys.
Holidays.
Holiday.
And you've been there before.
We were there before, prior to the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to go back, and because of the pandemic and everything and all the borders shut down and all the craziness, we weren't able to go. So this was the first opportunity to go, and so I was like, let's just go.
And the pleasure of having you here as you landed this morning.
I mean,
7 a.m. and you showed up at 10 o'clock here. I'm honored. Thank you, Tony.
When you get back from one of these trips, like, you just want to crawl into your bed. Yeah,
you want to sleep.
Yeah, you don't want to see anyone for like 3 days. Like,
right.
I pull up to my house and I'm like, am I going to run into the guy walking his dog who's going to want to have a conversation with me for like 20, right?
You actually wanted to come here. I'm honored.
I'm just saying, like,
I'm honored. This is amazing.
You don't want to see anyone, but
so thanks for being here, Tony.
Learned, of course.
And we're here to talk about your story, our relationship.
That's right.
You know, the idea behind what I do here is I want to bring people in that are in my industry, right?
Yes.
And what's connecting us and showcasing like what you do and have a nice discussion. So.
Well, I mean, what you mean by your industry is people, right? It's not jewelry, or it is. Are you an artist? Are you creative?
I am. Yes. Actually, thank you for asking me that.
Because we're not in the same industry, but we're about the same thing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And it's like connecting with people.
Yes. I don't consider myself a jewelry salesperson.
Right.
I'm a designer.
Yeah.
I create jewelry.
Right.
For people.
Right. Custom,
bespoke, like they want something specific, they come to me.
Yes.
And I create it.
And so you've been doing this for how long?
This is like on my own. I've been 10 years when my dad semi-retired.
Oh no, but like
my entire we're 5 generations in the business.
So
I'm the 6th generation in my
designer,
manufacturing, creating jewelry. But Edward Avedis on its own, the last 10 years where I started the collection, and I'm kind of been doing it on my own. So you started drawing at a young age? Or yes, I'm a designer. I wanted to be an animator.
Right.
That didn't work out.
Why not?
I got rejected a lot.
You did?
Yeah.
It's hard.
It's hard. I thought I was a great animator, and I still draw really well.
Yeah, I've seen some of your work.
Yes.
It's good.
I think so. Thank you. But not good enough.
I mean, to the people that rejected you.
Yeah, it's true.
But why did they reject you?
Who knows? There's talent out there that makes me look like a 5-year-old scribbling, and I think I'm good. So imagine there's people out there that draw and create things out of their imagination that's, I guess I wasn't good enough, but I'm glad because I get to do what I really love, which is designing jewelry.
Right.
And I'm my own boss, you know?
Yeah.
I'm my own entrepreneur. I mean, my boss is my customer.
Right.
You're my boss. You come to me for something you want created for Tracy.
Right.
If you're not happy, I have to answer to you.
Right.
I don't have to answer to anyone else.
Right. But Tracy's tough.
Tracy is tough. Yes. We love you, Tracy.
Yeah.
And she's liked everything so far, right?
I mean, right? I mean, yes. Yeah. I mean, I have.
Right.
She has.
And that's how we met. We actually met because Brandy Malloy, she posted about my jewelry, and Tracy follows her.
Right.
She came to me, and you both had to set up an appointment to meet. And when I met you, you were a little standoffish.
I can't.
A little bit.
We talked about that.
Yes.
We did talk about that. I don't know how that came up, though. We did talk about that recently.
At dinner.
Yes, because
now we're not like that.
Right.
We're bros.
And
we're like bros.
Now we have lunch.
Now you're here.
Now I'm
the first person you see when you land in the States. Yes, we have lunch.
Yeah, now we have lunch. Now I show up. I do.
I'm very honored to have you here. I want to talk about like where you're at right now. You know, I find what you're creating with your brand interesting. Yeah. Especially considering you've accomplished a business already, right?
Right.
Can you say you retired or you sold your business or, you know, I want to talk about that.
What do they say? I've made it to the top of Mount Everest.
I think you have.
I mean, so that's my what question people say. It's
why
like
the
heck? Made it to the top.
Right. You have. Why are you doing this?
That's a great question.
So,
I have no.
Give me just, you know, a little bit about your company before. Was
Lenny and Larry's.
Lenny and Larry's Cookies,
the
right?
Cookie, yeah.
They were very famous.
I mean,
Literally
they're
everywhere.
Worldwide,
right?
Worldwide.
They sell them
Yes.
here at the Fairmont Miramar.
They
We
do.
just saw it in the
They sell 'em-
Dogtown Cafe. I see them
yeah.
in Whole Foods. I
Every
see them
gym, every
right.
7-Eleven,
So-
everywhere, everything.
Tell me about that, and then like, why are you climbing the mountain again? Like, you reached the top. So, tell me about Lenny and Larry. What you did?
Right. So Lenny and Larry's was my dad bought Lenny and Larry's in 2000 because he was transitioning from
Okay.
working with his father
Okay.
in the gumball business. He had a vending machine business.
Okay.
Gumballs.
Okay.
So, like, you take Edward to the store and he wants a gumball, you put a thing in, or he wants to ride a little pony down at, what's that market down in Ocean Park? John's or Vaughn's or Bob's Market,
yes.
They have the horses, So that was my dad's
know
and
that.
grandfather's business.
Really?
So, yeah. So,
Like throughout LA, you guys had.
all basically from Mexico, from the border, like
Okay.
Chula Vista, like down in San Diego, all the way up to Vegas.
How do you get into a business like that?
I don't
That's
know.
wild.
I have no idea.
I didn't know that.
That was my grandfather's business. So that him and his partner. So he had gumball
Okay.
machines.
Okay.
And weight scales. Back then they had scales. So you go to like the bus stop. I don't know, the Greyhound.
Sure.
And they'd have like a scale there. I don't know why people wanted to weigh themselves, but you would just go.
Oh, like at an arcade even you see.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Like, so that was his. I think he found one recently too, which is kind of cool.
No way.
Yeah.
That was you guys?
That was it. Yeah. Here.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, here.
Okay.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. Perfect. Santa Monica Pier has gumball machines all over their arcade.
And that's
That was us.
you guys.
That was them.
Them. Your
But
your dad and
I
okay.
was a kid.
Right.
So I would hang out at the warehouse and I would like put together, like, I would fix the machines and, like, I mean, when you were a kid,
Okay.
when you hung out with your dad, right? After school or like on holidays or,
Right.
so I would go to my dad's work because my grandfather and my dad were there and they were in the valley and
Okay.
we would hang out and I would like hang out in the back because they had work to do. So I would hang out with all their workers.
And
Like,
I'm assuming this was lucrative business at the time.
I mean,
It's fascinating. I don't know.
It was lucrative enough to,
Sure.
to not have to like to be good,
Right.
to do what you needed to do.
Right.
Like,
So
we
from-
lived in a house. We didn't
Yeah.
have to worry about money. We weren't
Right.
eating, like, living
Right,
hand to
right.
mouth. We got to enjoy life. We got to do what we wanted to do.
Okay.
And that's,
And he would go around. They would do this in the street.
yeah.
right?
So,
And how
people,
did-
I mean, during the riots, like, they all got, like, looted.
Oh shoot.
And people would steal the machine. I mean, it was a crazy business.
Wow.
He'd have, South Central. He'd have machines in
Right.
South Central, so he'd have to like hire like tough guys.
What was the
like,
company called? Like
It was called West Coast Enterprises.
West Coast Enterprise.
Yeah.
I love the generalized name.
I know.
What kind of business is this?
Right. I mean, it was fun though. I mean,
Okay.
it was a fun business for me.
So then how did that get into like Lenny, Larry, and
So he had routes.
right,
He had a product.
right,
He collected money, like,
Okay.
like cash. And so after that business went away, he sold it, I think, or he got into the bakery business.
okay, got you.
So then he stumbled upon Lenny and Larry's, which was this company that was created by a couple bodybuilders.
It already existed.
It already existed, but it
Okay.
was very small.
Very small. Got you.
And it was the same thing. It was like, here's a product.
Okay.
It's healthy. My dad's like healthy-ish. I mean,
Ish.
he's
We're all
healthy.
healthy-ish.
He's healthy, right? I mean, he's healthy. He
Yeah.
could, and it's a product.
And
it's
who
healthy.
were the bodybuilders? Were they? You said
Benny and Barry. I think they were like, one was an American
okay,
Gladiator,
okay.
right?
So it was Benny and Barry, and
Right.
they changed it to
Lenny and
Larry.
Larry's.
Okay.
Yeah, they said they were clowns. They were used to work out at Gold's Gym and do
Sure.
all this stuff
Okay.
like that. So my dad got involved there, and he said it's just the same thing, right? It's like we have a product, we
Right.
have we have accounts to go to.
Okay.
We can make money. We can collect cash.
Okay.
It's easy. His whole philosophy was like, you want to make money when you're sleeping. You don't want to,
That's the goal, right?
Right.
That is the goal.
So he figures, I can go on vacation and somebody's still going to buy my gumball or buy my Danish or buy my cookie,
Lenny
right?
Larry cookie. Okay.
Like people are buying those cookies on the weekends.
Right. What
So-
made that special, and how you got involved with Lenny and Larry?
I think
Like, what did you do for them?
I did sales.
You did sales.
I was outside
You're a natural
sales.
okay.
I'm a natural sales guy that hates sales. 'Cause
Really?
I hate sales.
I would never think that.
I mean, I'm a natural sales guy that does not like sales.
Give me more. Like, what do you mean? You sold
The
like
cookies?
Lenny Larry. Like you were
every gym, every coffee shop, 7-Eleven, all the Whole Foods.
you were driving around to these spots?
Yeah,
Right? That's
I
how
did.
you started?
I basically
your
did.
trunk?
I did the same thing that he did with the gumball. So like I had routes. I had like 3 routes. So like we would break. I basically broke Los Angeles up into like 4 regions, right?
Okay.
So you have the Valley, you have the Pasadena, you have like Mid City,
Right.
you have the West Side, and then further like Long Beach-ish
Right.
area. So those were my 4 routes, my 4 days, right?
And you're building relationships with these stores.
Yeah.
That's why they're buying from you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just hanging out. I mean, I don't really.
It's a good gig.
Like all I do is hang
good
out.
gig,
So like I
right?
just go and hang out at a Whole Foods for like 20 minutes, and eventually I'd start talking to these guys. Like and everyone's like, you have to be persistent, and you never take no for an answer,
Sure.
and you blah blah. Like I took no for an answer. Like if someone says no, I'm like, all right, cool, I'm
Maybe
out. Eventually you'll want it.
Okay.
I don't need to keep banging on your door. Like I respect you. If you don't want my
Wow,
cookies, you don't
that's-
need my cookies. I mean, I don't need.
That's a good way of looking at
Right?
it. I
It's
should
like-
start doing that. You don't want my jewelry? Don't buy it. Like,
right. I
it's
got a
your
bunch
loss.
of other people. Right. That's what I was saying. And then, the beauty about this was eventually they did.
Why though? What? Okay, this is where I want to get.
Eventually they
what
did.
eventually made them? Like you went other places
Right.
that said I want it.
Right. So like there's like say we go to a trade show.
Okay.
Right. So we're at a trade show. Okay.
right.
And like, there's like 4 of my customers there, right? And we're hanging out, and we're talking and blah 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 blah. And then the guy comes to work and I know this guy. I don't want to. And then the 4 guys are like, why not? We're killing it. This is the number. Like look at how much money we're making selling. Like what's wrong with you? So it's
Okay.
like I'm not selling them anything
They are.
anymore. They are. And then he puts his head down. And he goes, okay, well, what can we do? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
So
eventually they buy.
They saw the light.
You just have to keep growing with your customers, and then eventually they see it.
That's
'Cause
actually
they miss market share, right? They don't want to miss out on the market
Right.
share.
That's actually a great plan. You say one rejects you, but you're going on to the next one that eventually.
Right. And
your
that's why
product's good.
exactly. And that's why I don't like sales, because what I read from all these sales books is like you don't take no for an answer, which means like if you say no to me,
Right.
I'm not going to take no for an answer from you.
Sure.
That's maybe I'm confused. But when you say no, I say, okay, that's fine. I'm not going to quit. I'm just going to go to somebody else.
Right.
And I'm going to go to somebody else. And I'm going to go to somebody else. And I'm going to keep going until I find my people.
I think that's what that means, and I agree with you on that.
Like, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to waste my energy on trying to convince you to want something you don't want. If I force it down your throat and you take it, and then like
you don't like
you're
it.
not like, I need you to help me sell it, because I leave. I just give it to you, and you have to like
right.
put it on the shelf. You have to like merch it. You have to do all
Right.
these things to it.
Right.
You have to say, hey, Avo, hey, George, buy these cookies. They're great.
Right.
Like I'm gone. I'm like onto the net. I'm like somewhere else.
Right.
So like if you're not into it, then what's the point? You're
That's
just going to
true.
put it on the bottom shelf. No one's
Right.
going to see it.
Right.
And then
I'm gonna say it never sold.
yeah,
and
and
you're
like it never sold. I'm like, of course it never sold. You put it like in the chip aisle. No one's looking for cookies with the chips, or you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right, I get
put
you.
It's like
That's
so
a-
there was like this whole I don't know, and it just was very natural to me.
It sounds like it, even though you're saying you hate doing it. It
Yeah.
sounds like you came naturally.
it was just very natural, and I don't know. It was just like my people. I liked them.